The small town of Hawthorne, nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains, was a quiet and unassuming place. Its residents knew one another by name, and the town was known for its autumn festivals, where vibrant leaves carpeted the ground, and the air smelled of cider and cinnamon. But Hawthorne had a secret, a legend whispered in hushed tones. Everyone knew the tale of the Whistler, a spectral figure said to haunt the dense forest on the outskirts of town. The story went that, long ago, a man had lived in the woods, a recluse who whistled eerie tunes to ward off the wolves. One bitter winter, he vanished, and the townsfolk assumed he'd succumbed to the cold. But his whistle didn't stop. Late at night, when the wind was still, you could hear it drifting through the trees, a haunting melody that froze the blood. As the legend grew, so did the warnings: never answer the whistle. That October, 5 friends decided to spend a weekend in Hawthorne. Emily, a local who had moved to the city for college, thought it would be fun to show her friends her hometown. "It's the perfect place for a spooky weekend," she said, laughing. "We can rent a cabin, go hiking, tell ghost stories." Her friends, Nate, Claire, Josh, and Anna, were eager for an escape from their midterms and the monotony of city life. They rented a cabin near the woods, just far enough from town to feel isolated. The first day passed uneventfully. They hiked a nearby trail, took pictures, and joked about the Whistler. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they built a fire outside and roasted marshmallows. "So, what's the deal with the Whistler?" Nate asked. Emily leaned closer, the flickering flames casting eerie shadows across her face. "The story goes that he calls out to people with his whistle." Josh scoffed. "Classic small-town nonsense. Next, you'll tell me there's a Bigfoot around here." "Laugh all you want," Emily replied, "but people swear they've heard him." That night, as the group settled into the cabin, the wind began to howl. The trees outside creaked and groaned. Josh was the first to notice it, a faint, lilting whistle, barely audible over the wind. "Do you hear that?" he asked. The others quieted, straining to listen. The whistle came again, a haunting melody that seemed to dance on the edge of hearing. It was neither cheerful nor mournful, just empty. "Probably just the wind," Anna said, though her voice wavered. "Or someone messing with us," Josh said, grinning. He cupped his hands around his mouth and whistled back, a sharp, mocking tune. "Don't!" Emily hissed, her face pale. But nothing happened. The whistle didn't respond. The next day, they hiked deeper into the forest, following a trail that wound through towering pines and ancient oaks. The air was crisp, and the sun dappled the forest floor. But as they ventured further, a sense of unease began to creep in. The trees seemed darker here, their gnarled branches intertwining. That night, the whistle returned. This time, it was louder, more insistent. It drifted through the trees, curling around the cabin like a living thing. Emily sat bolt upright, her heart pounding. "Don't answer it," she whispered. Josh, emboldened by his earlier antics, ignored her. Josh stepped outside, shining his flashlight into the trees. "Hello," he called. "Nice try, but we're not scared." The whistle came again, closer this time. Josh turned toward the sound, his beam cutting through the darkness. The others watched from the doorway, too afraid to step outside. The whistle changed. It became a jagged, discordant screech that pierced the night. Josh froze, his flashlight flickering. "Josh!" Nate called. The flashlight dropped to the ground, its beam illuminating the leaves. But Josh was gone. Panic set in. They searched for Josh, calling his name.